Hello, hello, beloveds. Sweet, sweet day to you. Sweet evening to you. As we are showing up, simply holding your heart here. There we go. I see you arriving. Good evening. Good evening. I see I'm getting ahead of myself and it looks like there's a typo. It says 2023 opening ceremony. I will change that. It's actually 2022. Right, so here we are arriving. Welcoming you all here. I'm just going to hop on over into the Pilgrim group and make sure that I'm able to see you here. There we go. Good, 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 good. Okay. Hey, Sarah. Welcome. Welcome. Who's here with us this evening? We never know how many folks will actually arrive for this particular piece of the evening, but welcoming you here. Please go ahead and say your name as you are arriving, especially if you've not given StreamYard permission, because we're going through a multi platform so that we can, there we go, I see that, thank you, so that we can stream to multiple locations and they require permissions to show your name. Otherwise, I see many people with the name Facebook user. So please just drop your name in so I know you're here and I know that's you. That's lovely. And you're all arriving. Got a little eternal Om playing in the background. Literally, it's just from YouTube, so you know, right? It's the eternal Om. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I'm seeing Leslie from Montreal, Julie Jenkerson from Portland. Sarah's coming to us from Billings, Montana. Love that. Steph Block is here. Glenda from Salem, Oregon. Wonderful. So you're all starting to show up. This is great. Wonderful. Hey there, sweet Sheila Silver as well. Welcoming you here as well. Good, good, good. All right. Holding you all sacred as we arrive. Perfect. Andrea. Which Andrea? We actually have 3 or 4 Andreas, so I'm curious which Andrea is here with us. Carolyn Brewis. Welcome, welcome. So you're showing up. Beautiful. All right. There we go. Beaming in from Big Sky Country, Billings, Montana. There we go. Mary Shelby, Denise, hey. Sweet. Perfect. There we go. Andrea Angel. Perfect. Kathy McIntosh from Ely, Nevada. This is so sweet, you all. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm going to invite you to do as you are arriving is to settle in, to find yourself, either prepare yourself with the pieces that you want to have for this evening. So if you saw the list, you saw that there were a few things that we suggested. A white candle. My candle's not pure white, it's beeswax. So white, or I have a beeswax candle, a white string, right? I have some jute twine. I prefer the natural fabrics if possible. Now, for the record, if you're coming back, if you're like, I don't have that now, don't worry about that. No problem at all. I actually have my last year's, I'm super excited that I still have this. I have my last year's thread, and it literally was 3 pieces of sewing thread braided together. I did that last year. So I'm sure I'll lose this at some point during this year's pilgrimage. And that's the practice, to let them fall off. But if you're like, oh no, I cut mine off from last year, that's okay too. Don't worry about that. So your white string. I also have a little dish of fruit and nuts. I'm going to explain why we're using this as well. I have a little dish of milk. Now this is actually cashew milk. I don't have any dairy milk. I would have dairy milk in my house if I had it, but this is cashew milk, so that's what I'm using for tonight. everything is symbolic, yeah? And then I have a little dish of water, about 6 ounces. So that's here. All right. So here we are for our opening ceremony this evening, welcoming you as you all are arriving, loving that you are arriving. And as you're coming here tonight, we are here specifically for an opening ceremony for this year's journey. Now, as we get into that, I'm going to begin with a mantra. You're going to learn all these things if you don't know these things. This mantra literally means tool of the mind, tool of the mind. So this is a mantra that we're using. If you've come to my yoga classes, if you've been involved with me in any capacity in the past, you'll recognize this. And so this is the student teacher prayer. And it's an invocation essentially for all of us across the globe, wherever we come from, to come together and work together and play together and find this place and space of oneness and in our hearts and in the ways in which that we're communing on this journey, and also within our own selves, right? This journey, more than you communing with me, more than you communing with your soul sisters or brothers on the journey, this is all about the ways in which we bring ourselves into inner alignment. Because when we are in inner alignment, it's then and there that we have the freedom to see truth, to live in truth, to be peaceful, to be happy, and to be free. And we let go of those things that we can't control. We have a lot less fear and anxiety and all these sorts of things. So that's our primary intention tonight, because each of you have come to this journey for a very different reason. And I both want to honor that reason, and I want to hold you in a really sacred place and space as we walk together, so that you can let what bubbles to the surface in terms of your desires for this journey come to fruition. And then at the end, I will most definitely provide for you an opportunity to deepen into any questions that you may have. I'll stick around afterwards. I also want to say that if you're here with us tonight and you're not yet on the pilgrimage, because I invited a number of folks who are not yet on the pilgrimage. And the reason that I did that is because this is an intention setting practice that we can share far and beyond. So you're welcome also to share this with your friends if you find it useful. This is something that I do every year at Pilgrim, and I do this on a smaller version regularly throughout my life. So this is me, Britt, your guide for Pilgrim, sharing with you some of the pieces. So with that, we can bring our hands together at our heart center. If that feels weird to you, here's what I'm going to say. If any of this feels weird to you, just get out of there. Like, you don't have to turn your attention to anything that feels weird and unruly. Not at all. Just let yourself drop in, bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes, or let your hands rest in your lap. And we'll take this in a call and response. I send the breath down and out the body on the exhale, inhaling to the crown. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Vavatu, Vavatu, Sahanao, Sahanao, Bhunaktu, Bhunaktu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karavavahai, Karavavahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Mavidvisha, Mavidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we work together, may we play together. May we come together and practice and live in alignment together. And if at any point along the path, along the journey, we lose our way, if at any point along the path we bump into each other or crash into each other, we simply remember that we are one and the same, that there's nothing to hold tightly to here, that we are love, that we are light, that all is well. And in the words of Ramana Maharishi, a favorite of mine, yoga teacher of mine, when he was asked the question from one of his students, Ramana Maharishi, how do we love others? And he said, there are no others. So tonight we circle that back into our own hearts, we bring our attention to our own hearts, and we move forward in this way. So with that, I'm here tonight. I'm going to be doing some teaching and some educating as we go. I have white on today. It's Monday. It's a moon day. This moon day, Monday, through the yogic traditions, has a color associated with it for each of the planets, for each of the days. So every day has a different color associated with it. You'll learn that in Pilgrim. The reason that I'm choosing white is because it's moon day. It's Monday. I also have white flowers. White is a color that, interestingly, we can see and receive, but it doesn't absorb everything from this material world. Instead, it is a color of reflection. And in this way, it's a color of divine reflection. So I have white on tonight with that intention. Now, the reason I tell you that is if I'm wanting to do something very specific on any given day, I align myself with that color and I wear that color, or I use that color very consciously to align myself with the universal flows of things. Now, I know I've got people in this community who are like, I didn't meet you under these terms. I'm thinking about this beautiful group of individuals who I know through a team bonding group that I do. So I'm just here to say, never you mind, don't let me weird you out. And if it gets weird, you just get out of here. But this is just an anchoring practice. You can take this through any tradition that you so choose. I'm sitting where I sit 365 days a year. This is where I sit with my sanctuary community. This is where I sit in the morning to pray, to set intention, to dance with the one who brung me. Call it what you may. I'm not a religious person. I am by all means a spiritual person. And I feel as though I want my life to be a light for others who are walking in times of darkness. So that's why I sit here every single morning. And the place that starts is always within yourself. It starts within you. So I'm starting to turn this way because we're going to go ahead and light our candle. And I'm going to speak into these pieces. If you have a candle there with you and you can light it, light it. Just know these are the pieces that we come to tonight. And the list of things that you want are all available to you. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's on my altar tonight for this ceremony. And we talk about altar and altering one's consciousness in the practice of Pilgrim as well. The first thing that I want to share is a rose that I picked from my garden this morning. Now, this particular rose, look at the colors on that wild thing. Look at that. It is like almost brilliant yellow on the inside. And then it's like a deep kind of a pinkish orangey red on the periphery. I bought this rose bush because it reminds me of my mother. So she lives on my altar in a very important place. I also have Saraswati here. Saraswati is the feminine aspect of divinity, whatever that may be. You might see it as La Virgen de Guadalupe, right? Or you might see it as the Virgin Mary. You might see it in some other Freya or different version of divine feminine energy. You might see it in a rainbow, right? It doesn't have to have a physical form. But this is Saraswati. She comes from the yogic tradition, and I'll definitely be speaking onto this. This is a hawk feather, and this is a feather I found in my bathroom. What I love about this is the black and the white, which is what yoga is all about. It's like the yin and the yang. And Saraswati governs all that is full and beautiful. It's divine feminine energy, everything that we learn, everything that we are growing through, etc. And so this is Saraswati, and she holds that grace for me. Then I'll just give you a couple other things. I have my Catholic rosary. Actually, this is the Catholic rosary that was my mother's, I think. Yeah, this one was my mother's. I love that I just got confused with which one was my mother and which one was mine. It says Marilyn Shepherd's on the back. My grandmother made it. This is my mother's Catholic rosary. My mother is now 87 years old, I think. 88. Gonna be 88. That's that. And then I have a pearl mala bead. I chose pearl because you can even see it in my skin tone. I tend to go red. When life is busy, I tend to go red. I have a lot of fire in my constitution. So I have a pearl mala. And then I'm just going to speak into two other things that are on my altar or three other things that are meaningful to me. One is, this is a tobacco pouch. This is not of the yogic tradition. This is a symbol of plant medicine, and this is full of tobacco. Tobacco is a plant that is representative of abundance. It is representative of our deep connection to the earth. It's representative of sustenance for our family and for our lives. So I have that. And then the two other things, I have three little lotus seeds that sit in this little clay heart. It's a full miracle that I haven't lost this over the year. These are the three lotus seeds that were given to me by my teacher upon initiation. And so they are here. Upon initiation into a mantra and into his teaching. And then finally, this is my sweet little, I love on the bottom it says Ganesha Ji. Ganesha Ji. So this is Ganesha. He is the one who protects us on the yogic path. So you can have a symbol of the little Chinese cat of abundance in your house, and you can have a little Ganesha. I will say something about deities, and then I'll peel back from some of these things. Leslie, my teacher, is a man by the name of Swamiji Vagishinanda Saraswati of the Saraswati order. He's not a public teacher. I speak about that in our program as well, and I'm happy to answer those questions outside of here. But he's a really amazing man and teacher he's a Shivite, and he teaches through the Saraswati tradition, Dayananda Saraswati. And so Ganesha here has come to me from India, and he is here to blow open pathways, to clear pathways, and to set our intentions this evening in motion. So here we are, loving you all, seeing you all show up here. Jen Snyder has arrived from La Grande. Denise is here. Good evening. So grateful you're here. And so we are just holding grace. I'm not sure who said good evening from Bend, but I'm thinking I'm not even going to guess. There's a handful of benders out there. So we'll just leave it at that, and you can come back around and say your name if you'd like, so I know who's here. So we light the candle, and this is a way in which that we illuminate the path. Like, I want to see what's before me, right? I want to see where I'm going best I'm able. And this is really all I need. I just need enough light for me to take the next step. That's it. I don't have to take a whole bunch of steps. Not at all. I just need enough light for me to take the next best step. So tonight, setting intention for this journey. I'm going to invite us into just a really brief little meditation with this as a beginning point. Perhaps you have a piece of paper as well, right? That was another thing from your list, piece of paper and a marker or a pen. So you have something to write on that will live on your altar. If this is a very private thing for you and other people are going to be seeing your altar, you might choose to put this on a particular piece of paper, or you might even put it on a little piece of paper that goes inside of a little mini envelope so that you know it's there and you know what it says, but no one else does. That's just an option for you as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close our eyes. Hold your own weight if you can. Lift the corners of your lips and let your nostrils flare like a horse just a bit. Take a few deep breaths and just check into yourself and acknowledge that it's a really big deal that you're even here with everything that life has asked of you, everything that's on your plate. It is an honor and a privilege to have just this little bit of time and space to be here. We make a sweet commitment to stay as long as we're able, and we let that be enough and good. The corners of our lips lift, our nostrils flare, and I'm going to take you in and through a mantra, another tool of the mind, that as it relates to Ganesha, as a way in which of both blowing open the pathways, blowing open and blowing barriers out of the way that an elephant could move a log out of a path. And so we just hold this energy. Welcome to chant along if you know it, but we just hold this energy as a way in which to blow open whatever stands between us and the intentions that we will set tonight on this journey. Opening your ears, the sense organ that is closest to the ether element, toward the mystery. You listen or chant along. Om Gam Gananant Va Ganapati Gam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upama Shravasthanam Jeshta Rajam Brahmanam Brahmana Pata Anam Shrinvanuti Basida Sadhanama Kratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Susaravada Siddhi Buddhi Shakti Sahita Srimavagana Dipataye Namo Namaha Nirviknam Kuru Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And so here we are. So beautiful this evening, just touching in, just trusting that we are here for good reason, that you've been guided to this place, this moment in your life, and there are intentions that are to be set for these next 108 days. Now, the first intention that I offer to you is to take your right hand and to place it on your heart. This is the masculine energy. This is the energy that protects. This is the energy that gets things done. You rest that and you connect it to your heart of all hearts. And then we take the left hand and place it on top as the mama protector, the mama energy that lives within all of us regardless of gender. We hold this sacred space, and what we will protect is our heart. What we will protect is our deep compassion for ourselves. For there's a life that we are each living, and then there's a life that so frequently is longing to come through us. And that is what we are here to awaken a bit more this evening, that simple life that is longing to live through us. So that being said, we bring the hands together at the heart center, 10 fingers, ether, air, fire, water, earth, masculine and feminine energies drop into the heart center. That's what that's all about. Everything resolves into love. Everything essentially and eventually resolves into the heart. No different are your very own desires and longings and heart awakenings. And so with that, this is how we move into this evening's ceremony. So what we are going to do very simply is we are going to set forth 3 different intentions that have to do with the yogic tradition as our guide. So those 3 basic things that we are going to set in motion are going to be Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, right? What does that mean? This is the triad as we say it or see it in yoga. Brahma is the beginning. It's anything that you want to plant a seed for in your life. So as I begin to explain this, I want you to think about your life and think about the next 108 days of your life, just those, right? Just those. What is it that you most deeply and in the highest connection, what is it that you want to bring forth in your life? What seeds, like these little lotus seeds, what seeds do you want to plant? That's the first piece to think about. We call this Brahma. Brahma. Now here's the thing. That's Brahma. But if we were to say Brahma, which is how it looks like it's spelled, Brahma, right? Brahma. If we were to say Brahma, that actually means illusion. So be very careful insofar as there's a very fine, tiny little difference between your highest aspiration and the seeds you want to plant and illusion. So just be aware of that. Secondarily is Vishnu. Vishnu is the energy, that central force of what it is that you're already doing in your life that you long to maintain. You long to maintain. Now, pilgrims of the past are going to recognize this slightly as fill, empty, right? Remember these, fill and empty. So we're seeing the process of filling and emptying and caring for ourselves on the journey as part and parcel of these bookends, which I'll get to the third one, which is your emptying. So the second one, the center point, is Vishnu. What do you want to maintain? What are you already doing well? What's working for you? And then finally, the third is Shiva. What do you want to burn off? What do you want to release? What do you want to let go of? So all of these will be written essentially in the positive. They'll be written in the positive. So I'm going to walk you through this meditation that I spoke onto so that you can simply bring your attention to these 3 points of focus. What I'd like for you to do is to take your string, if you have it, and if you don't, you can do all this later. Take your string if you have it, and just hold it in your hands and interlace your fingers. And then rest your thumbs at your heart center and close your eyes. Lift the corners of your lips. Let your nostrils flare. And as you sit here and bring your attention to your breath, I invite us into Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma, the seed that you're longing to plant. If you look at your life now and look forward from this point, out into the days ahead of you, these next 108 days, my invitation to you and my simultaneous offering to you is this. What seeds are you wanting to plant? What words can help describe those seeds? What is longing to move through you? What is longing to move through you? Inhale and feel into this. And then in your time, ever so gently shift your attention to the second of this Trinity. And ask yourself, what are you doing already that you want to sustain? What is it that you want to nourish that is already present? It already has roots. It already has stalk and perhaps leaf. It's already growing. What is this? It can come in 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, whatever it may be. And then finally, as part and parcel of this Trinity, we turn our attention to what it is we want to burn off. What is it that is not serving us? What is it that we want to transform from heat into light? Notice that which is longing to be released. Now you can continue to hold your string, or you can set it down as you wish. And I'm going to invite you to go ahead and grab your card or your piece of paper. And we're going to take this and just take a moment, and you can write it however you so choose. I'm happy to share mine as an example. These are real. I'm not making these up. These are absolutely real. I'm going to use my drum as a desk. I'm going to love that. So the first one, the seeds that I want to plant. I am so clear, this might surprise some of you, but I'm so clear that the seeds that I want to plant are clarity, focus, and discipline. So you might write Brahma. And the seeds I want to place are clarity, focus, and discipline. That is my Brahma. That is my seed. Clarity, focus, and discipline. There we go. You can see that now. Clarity, focus, and discipline. The next piece for you, what it is that you want to sustain, what it is you want to bring more fully into your life, that already has a root system and stalk and perhaps leaves, using the plant as a metaphor. So what is this? What is this piece for you? I offer that this is Vishnu. This is the energy of Vishnu. Vishnu, for me, that which I want to continue to focus my energy upon. I'm just going to sit with this again because it came through really clearly when I was sitting with you. You may do the same. Just turn your attention. Deep, honest healing work. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to be using Pilgrim as a way to help me into that more completely. The third is Shiva, S-H-I-V-A. And this is that which you're wanting to burn off, that which you're wanting to let go of, that which you're wanting to let die. Right? So we can, as my teacher Ki, another one of my teachers, and I speak into this in Pilgrim, Ki McGraw, she's a Hatha yoga teacher and an incredible therapist, and she's out of Seattle, Washington. You can find her work on Facebook and online at hathayogacenter.com. She's profound and amazing, and she's my number one therapist, etc. When I'm doing this deep and honest healing work, I'll be doing that with her as my guide and as my light holder. So Shiva, when I look at Shiva and what it is that I want to let go of, I want to let go of, resting into this, anger, distraction, and fear. Anger, distraction, and fear. So now you might decide. So here's how I've written this on my little card, just showing you how I did it. Doesn't mean it's the right way by any means. It's just going to live on my altar as a reminder. So I'm going to write with Brahma up in the corner. I'm going to write a little word so I remember. Now I'll know this, but you might. Put the word seed. In the middle under Vishnu, I'm writing the word nurture. And then under Shiva, I'm writing the word release. Now I'm putting little symbols that are meaningful to me. So what I'm doing here this doesn't look like what I want it to, but I know what it is. So I'm a really good stick figure drawer, but that's about it. So here's what I have. Let me just share this with you. So I have, I'm going to turn it just a little to try to get that. All right. So I drew a seed and I threw my 3 lotus seeds, I drew nurture. Let me square that up. Those are 2 little leaves for me. And then I have release at the bottom. And that, if you're wondering, that, is a fire right there. That's fire. So now I know. So now what do I do with this? What I do with this is I use this as my point of focus on this journey. So those of you who are first year to Pilgrim, there is so much that you can do. And it is nearly impossible to do it all, right? Unless you are a sage in the woods and have no kids or job, etc. But that's not the point. The point isn't to do it all. It's not to get gold stars after absolutely everything that's available. Not at all. The point is for you to choose something that works and stick with that for 108 days. And if you can add something else in, choose that in and stick with that for 108 days. And choose something else and stick with that for 108 days. So if you go to this every single morning, your seed, nurture, and release, your Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, if you come to this every single morning because it lives on your bathroom mirror or lives on your altar if you have an altar or lives taped to the wall next to your toilet where you sit every single morning, this is your anchor for your ritual, for you to ground and to settle in and to bring your attention to these things. So if I want clarity, focus, and discipline, and I want deep, honest healing work, and I want to release anger, distraction, and fear, me knowing me, my focus is not going to be on all the yoga poses for this year's journey. My focus is going to be on the meditations. My focus is going to be on the breathing practices. My focus is going to be on eating really well. My focus is going to be surrounding myself with people who support that. That's going to be my focus. That's what we're going to imbue your sweet little white string with, are these things. So if there's any questions, or if you'd be interested in sharing yours, you're welcome to drop those in the comments. I shared mine only to sort of give you an example, nothing more. And I'm so grateful I did this. So thank you for this opportunity to be able to share this. Now I'm going to set this right back here. And it's going to live here. It's going to live right here on this altar for the duration of my time. Right here. Clarity, focus, discipline, deep, honest healing work, anger, distraction, and fear. So that is my intention and my objective for this 108-day journey. Now remember, you have so much available to you on this journey. You have the book, you have the workbook. You have the morning sankalpas. We come together for our intention. You have the question and answer and sort of the recap that we hit every Wednesday night. You have 108 days of yoga practice. You have alignment with the moon practices. You have 108 meditation opportunities. I mean, there's lots here. You've got the community, a place where you can grow in conscious community. It's all here for you, so you choose. So now, keeping ourselves in alignment here, because I don't want to go over tonight. All I want to do is to share with you these pieces. So what we have here on our altar again, I have some fruits and some nuts. This is because I'm laying this out for us as a traditional Vedic offering. It's not complete. There's things that are not here, like an Indian pundit who would be chanting and giving us a particular time window of, 18 minutes on a Saturday morning where we would ask permission of the 5 elements to be able to bring this into form in our lives, and ask permission of the plants and the animals to support us, and of our ancestors and our family to support us. All of this, right? Of our fellow human beings, that what we do is paid forward. It's not personal. It's not selfish. It's to be paid forward in light in the world. We ask the gods and the goddesses and all the deities that are seen and unseen, which means, God and drag comes in a lot of different ways, as we know. So that's a piece too. And we literally nourish that divine essence with this. This is a symbol of that nourishment. So this is here. It's always beautiful to have a little bit of food on your altar. So that's here. This is not for you necessarily to take. Then the milk. The milk is a symbol for us. It is, again, a symbol that represents the cow. The cow is actually the ancient Vedic teachings. It's essentially the Shastra, the Guru Shastra, the flow of all of life, the nourishment, the wisdom of all of life that's held up by the 4 legs, the 4 Vedas, the 4 books of knowledge, if you will. And so this is a representative of the sacred cow, which is both a devotion that we offer in and of ourselves in our lives, and it's also a sacrifice. So your 108 days, let's say that your commitment is to, I'm just going to make this up, that you're going to go to a bar. Is it called bar 3 or Paleoton? I don't know these things, these common things, but maybe you can help me figure it out. You're going to get on an exercise bike. We used to call them spin classes, but I think I date myself by saying that. Whatever, you're going to do an exercise thing, and that's going to be what it is that you're going to do for 108 days. Has nothing to do with Pilgrim, right? But you're with people that you know and love. You're being positive. You're aligning yourself with nature because you're getting up really early, like you're getting your exercise out of the way early in the morning, then you eat better, and all these things fall into place, right? So I'm doing this on purpose, picking something that's outside of the realm of yoga versus chanting 108 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, a mantra to the Ganesh for 108 days, which you could also do, right? But my point is, you choose something. It is both a devotion, like you have to be fully devoted to it if you're going to do it for 108 days. And there's no way that anybody can tell you it's not a sacrifice, because you got to get your butt out of bed in order to do that, right? You got to do it whether you feel like it or not. So with all of these things, there's actually this really beautiful connection that is both, it is a devotion and it is a sacrifice. This is life, like children, right, mamas? You get it, right? Like marriage, right? You get it. I know you get it. So that's what the milk is. It's that recognition. It's that deep devotion. So that's what we hold. The water is actually going to be part of our little ritual here. And a fresh flower. This is life force. This is our connection to the natural world, and this is our life force. So I'm going to go ahead and invite you to hold your water. And you're going to take your string and place it in your hand. If you have it, you can do this later. I'm not dropping it in to my water. It wouldn't be a big deal if I did, but I'm just resting it on the edge, and it might get wet. It'll be just fine. But what I'm doing is I'm holding it here, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring it right on into my heart center. I'm going to share with you a mantra of nourishment. Anapurne Sadha Purne Shankara Brahma Vamale Jnana Vairagya Siddhirtam Vikshandehi Shaparvati. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupani Vidyaram Ham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Ya Devi Stunite Nityam Vibhudair Veda Paragaihi Same Vasatu Jihwagre Brahma Rupa Sarasvati. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Setting the intention, holding the vibration true and clear. Infusing both this water and this symbol of our connection to our intention for our time with Brahma. What are your seeds of Brahma? What seeds are you planting? Say those out loud. If you need to look back at what you've written down, that's okay too. It takes a little while. Infuse it both into the water and into the symbol that will go about your wrist. Then, what is your Vishnu? What is it that you want to maintain? And finally, what is it that you want to release and give to the fire? With this, we gently release. We take our string, hold it in the right hand, take the water in the left hand, and we drink it. We take a tiny little bit of the water and we anoint our own brow with the water that we are drinking. This is as sacred as any water. This is as holy as it gets, people. All right, so there's that. So now you have your string. This string is now infused with the intentions that you will be reminded of every time you sit, wherever it is you sit, to be able to share these pieces forward. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And we're just going to take it around the left wrist. We hold it on the left wrist because this is the feminine. This is the hand, the arm of nourishment. I'm just very simply going to slip it down toward the lowest part of my wrist, so toward my hand. This is just a Brit thing. This is not a part of the strategy. This is Brit strategy. I hold it as such so that I can hold one piece of the string like this. See that? Oops, the lighting's really weird. Like that. Because now I can slip this around, loop it, and I can get it in that little hole there. And I don't end up tying it too tight or too loose. And there, when I slide it back, it's got some nice give. And now I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to cut them off. All right, I'll cut these pieces off. So my little string will just live right there on my wrist. It's a symbol of my devotion to my intention for this journey. So this is what I offer us this evening. So with that, I'm going to invite us to come to closing. If there's any questions you have or anything that you'd like to speak into, your milk can stay for a little bit, can stay one night if you so choose, or you can go ahead and remove it. A beautiful thing to do with the nourishment, both the milk and the nuts and seeds, is to go find a tree and put it at the base of a tree. So we don't just throw it in the trash. We literally turn it into nourishment. So I'll actually go out into my garden, and those of you who've been at La Sagrada or know La Sagrada, where I live, I'll actually take you with me out there when I do this. And I'm going to go ahead and take both my fruit and my nuts. I'm going to take my milk. I'm going to dump it at the base of the Perul tree. I'm going to give it to her. So the sacred Peruvian tree. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close this portion of our time together, and then I'll walk those pieces out to share. The water has nourished me. It's anointed my brow. I have my intentions for my journey, and I have my symbol of my intentions. When this falls off, that is a symbolic moment. Apparently, I still got work to do from last year. Not surprising. Just saying. Those of you who've been with me for 8 years, maybe if I, it's possible. We only did these the last couple of years, this opening ceremony. So, so that's why I don't have 8, probably more than anything. But all of that to say, we now bring our hands to our heart center. We let the eyes close and we chant the closing mantra. If you don't know this, it's okay. It will not be call and response. It will be full and complete. It's an acknowledgement that we all come from fullness, that you are whole, holy enough as is, that there's no question, no doubt. You are whole, holy enough as is, and we got this. So we fill, we nurture, we empty. This is Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. We send the breath down and out the body. On the exhale, we inhale to the crown. Om Purnamidav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamavevashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go ahead and walk out with you, and then I'm going to come right back here for any questions and answers. So we're going to get creative. All right, I'm going to put my phone, take you with us. And I'm literally going to take my milk and my nuts and seeds. Right here, got them both, my little dishes. There's that yoga practice kicking in when you can stand up with those things, right? Okay, only problem, I didn't think about having 2 hands, but I can do this, right? I'm going to set this down. I'm going to set it right here. Getting to see La Sagrada a little bit, right? All right, open the door over here. Now, it doesn't matter who eats your altar pieces, right? No big deal, not important. So I come over, it's getting dark here. So beautiful. This will touch Sarah deeply and anyone else who's been here, but Sarah was just here. So these are prayers around our Berul tree. We're going to come over here. And here is, gosh, it's hard to see, isn't it? It's really dark. There's our Devi. She's right here. Really difficult to see. You can see that goddess. I'm going to come right over here, the base of the tree. Let me see if I can turn my light on so you can see this. This might help. There we go. Yeah, that helps. So here's Devi, the goddess, at the foot of the tree. And I'm just going to offer my milk and my fruit and nuts. And that's it. That's it. Just that little offering. Right? Doesn't matter if the ants get it or what happens. Right? That therein lies the nourishment. I live in Mexico, for those of you. So it's like a million Mexican dogs. I have lots to say. But here we are, right? All is well. We find our way. And from this place, I'm going to go ahead and put my camera back in, and I'm right here for any questions. Seed, nurture, release. Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Seed, nurture, release. All right. So any of you have any questions? Any questions about this? Any questions about anything related to welcoming us on this journey? Anything else that anyone is asking about or for? I'm right here. All right, you tell me how I can support you. All right. And if you have nothing, not seeing anything coming here, if you got nothing, then I will release you into your evening. Loving you, deeply grateful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this little opportunity for us just to anchor in together. It's an honor to see all of you here. It's really beautiful. I'm seeing so many faces forever. How long is the meeting in the morning? The meeting in the mornings, they are less than 15 minutes, right? On average, they're less than 15 minutes. In the mornings, we come together. We set an intention. So I'll actually share with you what today's was. Today was when two or more gather. Right, here we are doing just this. There is a great power in potency in journeying together. Any holy or sacred pilgrimage taken is an opportunity to turn our attention to the highest expression of our own life force, as well as the life force of others. As we begin this 108-day journey today, may we familiarize ourselves with the materials, the calendar, and this sweet little reminder. May we remember that we are together for reasons we may not know or yet understand, and that as we walk, we will learn, we will grow, and we will find a deeper sense of peace that is untouchable, unshakable, and true. Loving you deep and true. So we come together with a little bit of light every single morning. So welcoming you, thank you. Excuse me for a little cough. And if you've not signed up for Pilgrim and this has inspired you to do so, I will take registrations tonight until midnight on this day 1 of 108. Thank you. You can find information about Pilgrim at britbsteele.com, britbsteele.com/Pilgrim. Big love to you. Thank you. Have a great night, and I will see you, Pilgrims, in the morning. You're welcome, Leslie.